Slocum, co-driver here, Darkcyde Racing. You've had 2 days of recce. Explain exactly what recce is and what do you anticipate for the race here beginning tomorrow?
Recce is when Rob and I wake up really, really early after going to bed really, really late and sit around in a dry, dusty car all day. Essentially, we drive every stage of the event. We drive them twice. We are given the opportunity to pre-scout the roads, and what that means is we write down every nook, every cranny, every corner, every crest, every straight of the road, so we have an idea how to attack them tomorrow. We then spend the night, we get to relax a little bit, I go through them all, clean them up, make sure it's in a clean, cohesive manner so I can deliver it to Rob while we're actually competing. It's basically information like right 6 over crest, tightens 3 minus into left 4.
Okay, what would that mean?
It means we've got a pretty fast right-hand corner, it goes over a rise in the road, tightens up, and then it turns off to the left really quick. So I write it in shorthand in a specific code that Rob can understand so I can deliver it quick and concisely.
So essentially you guys actually know this road almost with your notes like the back of your hand, so you're able to...
I wish. The problem is we only get 2 passes on them.
Okay.
And even the WRC guys who have been running these same stages for 5, 6, 7 years, they bring last year's notes, and these 2 passes, they make changes to them.
So the route is exactly the same, more or less, than it is last year?
It's not exactly the same, but they've got popular stages that they like to reuse.
Okay.
They've got certain sections that will be used. But something I've learned over the years of rally doing 50-some events is that roads change every year. A river can cut. Depending on traffic, it might lessen a corner. If a tree blows down, you notice the road will actually jig to the side after a while because people will start driving more to one end than the other. So a road is very, very living in its own way. It's fluid. It'll change.
Is there anything out there that excites you or scares you?
Everything that scares me excites me. Everything that excites me scares me. They go hand in hand.
Very good.
There are a lot of drop-offs here that we've got to be concerned about. Some pretty severe jumps at certain areas. But it's not too bad. I think once I'm in the car, I'm too focused on what I have to do right to even worry about what can go wrong.
Excellent, thank you. Okay, pilot Robb Rill. Now
Pilota.
Yes, pilota.
I would so rather be
recce, 2 days. I mean, what are you in for? What are you thinking?
I'm in way over my head.
things the wife does not want to hear.
Yeah, there's a reason why this is the World Rally Championship, and we shouldn't be here, but we are using supplemental rules to be able to participate, which is fantastic because we get to be on the world stage with these guys, although technically we're not in their same class, but it's all the same stages, it's all the same problems, and it's honestly, it's pretty sketchy because you make one wrong turn and you're rolling down a mountain 200 feet. My goal is simply to complete this thing without a mechanical error or rolling down a mountain. That's a major goal.
Okay, and saying you're over your head though, but you're actually, you know, inside you're kind of got some, you're pretty excited.
No, I mean, you get to a part like, well, we did 2 passes on each recce stage, and that was obviously very, at first it was very scary because you'll have like a right 5 over crest into a left 2, and what that means is basically we're going into something that is a very mild curve into a very sharp, basically a hairpin curve, and some of this stuff is with no guardrail and there's a drop. So when you see that initially, it's very intimidating, and you just have to approach it with caution, which is why having the notes is key. And if you're off pace with your notes, you can have a big problem very quickly. So I got to pay attention to Ben, and Ben's got to pay attention to the notes, but he's been real good on that. So
great. Now you were out there in second day. I mean, did you see any of the other pros out there?
Yeah, we raced Nasser Al-Attiyah, who is the reigning Dakar champion, and he was nice enough to, when we raced him, to let us win. I joked with him, I warned him how fast I was, and he said, "Don't worry, it's okay." But,
and you were of course in your backup vehicle, right?
Yes, we were in. We're not allowed to do recce in the race cars, and we were in a. I don't even know what it is. Like, it's a 2011 Volkswagen VW, which has absolutely no power. On one of the stages, we got a little aggressive and ripped the rear bumper off. Then we had to do some MacGyvering and jerry rigging a lack of a better word, straps, which we modified through the using the gas tank to hold it up in place and finish the stage. So yeah, that wasn't actually fun. And the pros actually have recce cars, which are basically the equivalent of my race car. So when they come up behind you and then bomb down it at 1.5 times the maximum speed you could possibly do based on your skill set. It's a little disheartening, but at the same time inspiring nonetheless.
Now we've got the team boss and logistics manager. I mean, how are you feeling right now? What do you think is going to happen out there? And do you have any concerns or any thing you'd like to share?
Well, I am glad that he recognizes that he's in with the big boys. So I know him. He knows how to take calculated risks. I know he's not going to do anything foolish. He's going to push himself hard like he always does, but he's not stupid. He's not cavalier. He knows he has his life and Ben's on the line. He doesn't want to destroy the car, and mainly he just wants to finish, and I know that's his goal. So it's really not about getting out there and just balls to the wall wrecking everything. It's about getting it done and
finishing.
Yeah,
one thing which makes it really home for me is when I've done a stage where I know last year Kimi Räikkönen, which is the former F1 champion, rolled his car 200 feet, and he's a pro, and it looks just as scary to me, and I almost miss it. That gives me perspective that I need to keep it under control.
That's a good point.
And so it just reminds you.
Yep.
yeah.
Well, good luck for Darkcyde, man. We're looking forward to that. I see we're queued up right now for scrutineering. What can you expect? What goes on here?
They're going to say a bunch of things in Spanish. I'm going to laugh, and then I'm going to drive out the other side. No, in all seriousness, though, they're going to want to take a look at all the safety devices, make sure the cage is complete, all the welds are complete, the belts, the seats, everything is up to date. And then at that point, they're probably going to go check out our fire suppression system, make sure the fire suppression system is complete and put in properly. At that point, they'll probably take a look at a few mechanical things, just make sure tire rods, ball joints, everything's okay.
Okay. And as far as the non-safety modifications, I mean, what would somebody be caught? Not that they would do that intentionally, but what would be illegal in this case?
Restrictor, they'll check the restrictor, make sure it's the proper size. If it's too big, they'll catch that.
That's on the turbocharger?
On the turbocharger, too much airflow through there. They're going to want to make sure that there's no performance parts that would relegate it to a better class on the car.
Okay.
So they're going to want to make sure that it's only Group N parts on a car instead of, a turbo that's not allowed for Group N or something along those lines.